Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk all about the Open Uni and whether an Open Uni course is going to be right for you and kind of the things that you should know when considering studying a course at the Open University. So I am currently about to study my second year at the Open University. I do a part-time degree. First year I did B100, which is a business module, and this year I'm going to do W111, which is a law module. I managed to get a distinction on my first year, which I was very happy with. I am actually doing this as part of an open degree as well, so I'm not choosing sort of like a set subject. I'm picking the subjects as I go along, which is really helpful for me and my lifestyle because, like I said, I'm doing a part-time degree and I am running a business full-time and trying to fit this in around that. So doing something that's really interesting me at the time is vital for me to stay doing this degree. So the first thing that I want to say about doing an Open Uni degree, and one of the things that you really need to know, is that this is a fully legit degree. A lot of people, because it's not a brick uni, so like you don't go to it every day, think that maybe this isn't actually a full degree, but this is fully the same as if you'd gone to Oxford or Cambridge or whatever. It's exactly the same. It is a full degree, so you can use this for any job that you want, and it just works exactly the same way as a regular degree would, but it's just online and it's just a different way to study, which is really helpful if you, like myself, are also working but you really want to learn at the same time. Another thing is that you don't actually have to do them as full degrees. You can do your first year as one, I think it's a diploma, and then you can go on to your second year, and then you can do your third year. That's if you do it full time, but obviously part time is building it up, so 2 years counts as 1 year. Hope that kind of makes sense. It's a little bit confusing, but yeah, essentially you can do it. So 120 credits equals one qualification, then going up to 240 credits is another qualification, and then 360 is the full degree. So you don't have to actually start it and complete it as a full degree. You can take it as you want, and you also have up to 10 years once you start to actually finish and get your degree. So you can take like gap years in between if that works for your lifestyle, which I think is pretty great. It's very flexible. So as this is a full normal uni, you can get a student loan through the Open Uni, so you don't actually upfront have to pay for the tuition cost, which I myself am doing. I'm doing like a full student loan. However, because they are expecting you to be working at the same time, you will not get the accommodation living costs paid for. I obviously supplement that through my job, and most people are also working at the same time. You will not get the loan to pay for your accommodation and food and stuff like that, but you will get your tuition fee completely covered, which is really handy. So I think when you're kind of coming to pick whether you're going to study at the Open Uni, knowing what course you want to do is really vital, because this is for more academic subjects as opposed to more vocational ones where you're doing more like involved learning. This is very academic, so reading from a book a lot of the time and actually teaching yourself. But obviously because you are remote, there's only so much they can teach you through a book, so it is more the academic subjects that are available through the Open Uni. So have a look through, see what tickles your fancy, but obviously having that in your head that it is more of the academic subjects that they actually offer is a great place to start. And then it's being like, am I actually capable of doing this course? Because there is very dependent on yourself. You're going to need to be so self-motivated and teaching yourself essentially. So whilst there are videos online and you have occasional lectures, you are actually teaching yourself pretty much from a book 90% of the time, which if you are not someone that learns very well like that, then I really would kind of rethink whether this is going to be the best path for you, because like I said, I literally get this book and it's full of like text. I read it, I do a few activities, and I do exams and assessments. So It's really like, can you teach yourself? Luckily, I'm a very independent learner, so this actually works so much better for me than if I was in class. I just would rather do a project by myself than as a group most of the time. So this works perfectly for me. But if you are someone that really likes to get more hands-on, you like to only work in groups, this is probably another thing to consider, that it's very independent and it's pretty much learning from a book. They have tried to make it a little bit more friendly, like I said, with videos, there's some audio clips and stuff, but the majority of the stuff that you actually need to know, like I said, is written in these books. Another great thing about the Open Uni is that there are actually in-person events. So like I've said before, it's very remote, you're pretty much teaching yourself. However, they do occasionally have in-person events that you can go to. They do sometimes the lectures in person. So I actually haven't attended one of these because they haven't started them again since COVID. But I have seen that other people have gone to them, and it is something that I think they're bringing back this year. I'm not 100% sure, but you can actually go to in-person lectures as well. So whilst you are on your own for a lot of it, that they do give you opportunities to actually meet people and make friends. There's also an Open Uni Students Association that you can be part of, which I am definitely going to be part of this year, to try and make some friends and try and connect with other people that are doing the same thing, because I have found that although I have great friends around me and my family and everyone that I see all the time, it would be really lovely to also connect and be able to have those conversations with people that are doing an open university degree, because it's a very unique experience. And some of my friends are at like a brick uni, and although it's kind of similar and you can kind of chat about it, it's very different in terms of like jargon, little like code words that you kind of have to know. Yeah, just the general overall experience. It's a little bit harder to meet people, but there are different ways that you actually can. So it's kind of trying to make the best out of the situation. Then it's like, when are you going to fit this in? So they suggest for a part-time course 16 to 18 hours a week, or if you're doing this full-time, then 32 to 36 hours a week. So for me, I block off a Wednesday to do my Open Uni stuff, which equates to around 8 hours. Really, I should actually be doing more. But if you go and watch my first year Open Uni review and experience, I kind of talk in there as to why I didn't use the full amount of time. So it really just depends on you and your learning, but knowing when you're going to fit it in is really, really crucial. And I prefer just me, myself, to like block off the whole day and just do it for the whole day, so that I'm really focused on that one task instead of trying to fit in an hour or two here and there, because my focus gets lost and I'm thinking about other things. So I definitely would recommend, before you get started, to actually have either a day or half days here and there that you can fit it around work or childcare commitments or whatever your other commitments are, to try and actually just be like, no, this is when I'm going to study, because I don't think I'd be able to be as successful with my learning if I was doing it super, super bitterly. And then you also want to decide whether you're going to do the 3-year course or the 6-year course. So they're still the same amount of credits. Both of them are 360, which, like I said, is a full degree, but it's up to you whether you want to do it full-time or part-time. They recommend to actually do it part-time. I think this is because of the main demographic of people that are choosing to join, but they do stress that they do recommend you doing the 6-year course. But again, it's totally up to you, whatever works best with your lifestyle. To me, if I'm being completely honest, I probably could, from what I experienced last year, fit in a full-time course, but doing it part-time. However, I don't want to say that this is sort of like Bible for all the courses, because like I said, I've only done my first year, so I don't actually know whether the workload is going to ramp up significantly as I go through. So you can choose, and I mean, when you go through, you actually pick the modules that you want to do each year. So some years you could actually do part-time if you wanted, and then other years you could do full-time and take on that full 120 credits that year, and then sometimes just do the 60. So you can kind of swap it around depending on what you think, but obviously you are locked in for the full year if you choose to do the 120 credit for the year option. I think you can like pause the credits and then just retake it next year. So it's up to you. It's pretty flexible, and they do really try and make every sort of option of flexibility available to you. There's a lot that you can check out if you go on to like the courses bit on your student home, and yeah, that's really helpful. So yeah, it's really up to you on what you choose, but I personally, for me, I'm just going to do the 6-year route. And like I said, you have up to 10 years to actually complete it. So even though I'm doing the 6-year route, I could throw in a gap year next year if my life was randomly going to get really busy and I didn't want to do it. Deadlines. There are deadlines for coursework, and there are also exams. So they obviously have deadlines as well. However, it's not too strict. So for example, for me last year, I basically had a TMA, which is a tutor marked assessment. So that is basically a piece of coursework, which is really just like an assessment. It was sort of like 5 or 6 questions that then got assessed, and then that would count towards my final grade. And I basically had one of them roughly every month. So that was my only like set deadline. They block out the work for you in weekly chunks on your student home, which is really, really handy and really helpful. So you can make sure that you're staying on top of things, and there's like a checklist you can click off and see actually at the top your percentage bar, so how much of the course you have left to do. But that's the only deadline to actually complete. The weekly tasks and stuff within that, and the actual readings and stuff, doesn't actually matter whether you've done it or not. It's only about the deadline of the exams and the assessments, and that's what they actually look at. So going on holiday and things, I wouldn't worry about keeping up with the blocks and stuff. I would just make sure, okay, my assessment's due that week, like I'm gonna make sure that I've got it done that week. That's basically it. So if you are someone that likes to travel and likes to go on holiday, or if you again are busy at work and maybe have to work like solidly for a set period of time or whatever, it's just actually the assessment deadlines and the exam deadlines that you have to keep up with, not every single week. But again, that's just my personal experience and the course that I did last year, and I don't know whether obviously every course is roughly once a month that you have an assessment. So I would definitely keep your eyes peeled and kind of see if you can find out about that for your specific course. And then, like I've said, no one's really kind of checking in on you. So it is really about being very independent and very self-motivated and on top of things and self-disciplined, which I know for some people, like they love. Like for me, I love working at my own pace, and I love being able to decide when and where I'm going to do things. But if you're someone that needs to kind of check in on people and have someone to constantly remind you, you're not going to get that, unfortunately. You do have contact with a tutor, so you're assigned a tutor at the start of the year and you can stay in contact with them. But that is like kind of emails very few and far between. I think I probably contacted my tutor twice last year, and that was only to extend a deadline. And then you have lectures where you can like ask the questions and stuff like that. But overall, really, it's going to have to be something that you're interested in, that you're invested in, and that you want to actually get done, because you're not going to have that touch point, that check-in kind of time with someone like you would if you were going into a university building and like having other people around you that also have that deadline and having tutors and stuff that are reminding you. You don't have that because it's literally you, your laptop and a book pretty much to kind of get you through the course. It depends whether that is something that you enjoy or not. So those are a few things that I feel like most Open Uni students really need to know about before they get going. I personally, like I said before, have really enjoyed my experience with the Open University, and it works really, really well for me, much better than I think going to a brick uni would have. But again, it really depends on your lifestyle and what kind of learner you are. So if you have any questions about that, please leave that down below and I will get back to you or make a video on it. And yeah, I will see you for another video very soon. You can check out my Open University vlogs and more videos that I have created on my Open University journey, what I think you should know, my book unboxings, all good things like that. I will leave that playlist down below as well, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Goodbye!